Hey guys, Ron here with a video to show you how my daughter and I installed a Dometic Brisk II RV air conditioner on the roof of our house. But first, here's my daughter Amy to explain why we did that.
Hey, so when we decided to put an AC unit in, the first problem we ran into was there was no good place to insert one in a wall or a window. If you see here, these windows, they go right into the walkway. So if we had put them here, they would have been too far into the walkway and people would have hit their heads. Over here, if you follow me, no space here. And then on this side, we have a ladder, so a wall inserted one would have worked here, as well as a door, and not enough space over here. So our next solution was, let's put one on the roof.
The manual for the Dometic Brisk II tells us that we have a maximum tilt angle of 15 degrees.
We're measuring the slope of the roof with a little angle meter, showing it to be less than 10 degrees. So it's essentially a flat roof, and we'll treat it like that. To support the air conditioner, we're going to build a curb on the roof. The curb will extend to span the support beams for the roof. And then we'll have interior pieces to create the 14¼ inch opening that's required for the air conditioner. Our roof is less than 15 degrees. Therefore, our curb will be constructed of a single layer of 2x4s on edge. If your roof is greater than 15 degrees, you'll have to construct a curb so that it creates a level surface on which to mount the air conditioner. Underneath, we'll have a piece of plywood, and that plywood will have the 14¼ inch hole centered so that we can tack it up to the ceiling and use it as a template as to where to locate the opening for the curb and then the air conditioner. The support beams for the roof are 24 inches on center, which means it's 22½ between the beams and 25½ to span the beams. So our support curb will be 25½ inches wide, and our plywood template will be 22¼ inches wide so that it can comfortably slip between the beams. The 3/4 inch plywood, which goes on the bottom of the ceiling, not only acts as a template for where to cut the hole in the roof, but also provides a spacer that we can use to run the power into the control box on the air conditioner. Here you can see it laid out, and I used a router to cut a little channel where the cable goes. Here you can see we've constructed the curb. You can imagine the roof support beams on either side. The curb will span the support beams, and then this 3/4 inch ply, which will fit underneath the roof, will slip between the support beams and also provide a template from where we can determine where to cut the hole in the roof. Okay, so we've located the 3/4 inch plywood on the ceiling where we want the air box to be mounted. We've also drilled 4 holes, one in each corner, so we can find the markings on the roof when we go to install the curb later. So now we've used those 4 holes we drilled to locate the prefabricated curb and mark where we want to remove the roofing. Okay, so we got the hole cut, and I clamped it in position so it doesn't drift when we toenail the curb into those support beams running along the side on the bottom. Not too confident about my roofing ability, so I had a professional here seal up the curb. We're going to want to add counter flashing to the top of the curb to make sure everything stays waterproof, and the water, when it rains or condensation from the air conditioner, can flow down onto the roof. First thing we'll do is cut a piece of plywood that's a 1/2 inch longer than the curb in each dimension. That way the counter flashing will fit over the roofing coming up the curb. So for example, the curb is 25.5 inches wide. We'll make the plywood 26.5 inches wide with the same 14.25 inch opening in the middle. So now you can see the roofing job is complete, and we've installed the 1/4 inch plywood that will support the counter flashing. If you look carefully, you can see that the plywood does extend beyond the roofing on all 4 sides, and it's been stationed to the curb with screws, and it's ready to go. Okay, so now that we got the plywood support in place, we'll make the counter flashing itself. We'll start with a sheet of galvanized sheet metal, and we'll cut it so that it is 2 inches larger than the plywood in every dimension. That's so that we can fold that down later to make the size of the counter flashing. In the center, we'll cut a hole that's the size of the opening, 14.25 inch, less 2 inches on each side. So 14.25 less 2 is 10.25. And we'll have a 10.25 inch square opening, and then we'll cut these slits indicated by the solid lines, and then we'll just fold it in place and have our counter flashing. Okay, so this is my little sketch of what we'll wind up with. So those cuts that we made, when we fold that down onto the 14.25 inch hole in the curb, we'll have these nice little tabs that we can secure the counter flashing to the curb. Then this will be a nice flat surface for the air conditioner to seal against, so we won't get any rain leaking in past that gasket that's on the bottom of the air conditioner. After we fold down these ends, these tabs will fold over, and we're going to actually solder these tabs to the down piece, and so that'll make a nice watertight seal, so any water that gathers up here will flow right down past the top of the roofing and onto the roofing itself. Right here you can see the air conditioner is sitting on top of the counter flashing, and the roofing has been completed, and we're ready to go down underneath to finish. Here we see the air conditioner from the bottom looking up. It is sitting on top of the counter flashing and on top of the curb, and we have screwed in the hold down bolts a few turns so that we can use them to properly center the air conditioner in the opening. Again, looking up at the bottom of the air conditioner through the opening, you can see the counter flash tabs flush with the curb. We'll screw these tabs down to the curb and secure them that way. The control box is mounted on the air conditioner bottom support bracket inside the air distribution box and in the return air passage. Now we have the bottom bracket for the air conditioner in place, and you can see the hold down bolts are now going through this piece and through some structural channel iron that's included with the piece. We torque the bolts to the specification, which compresses the air conditioner gasket, and everything is now nice and secure. Here we have the air distribution box fully installed with the power cable going to a junction box ready to complete wiring. Just a quick word on thermostats. The air conditioner control box comes with the thermostat kit. One issue is that the thermostat and the air conditioner control box require 12 volts DC. Thermostats designed for the home normally operate on 24 volts AC. Therefore, to complete the RV air conditioner installation, we need to provide a 110 volt AC to 12 volt DC converter. Fortunately, these are readily available through Amazon, eBay, and so on. The installation manual also requires a 3 amp fuse on the 12 volt DC wire. Here you can see the 110 volt AC to 12 volt DC converter plugged into an outlet and wired to a fuse block with the required 3 amp fuse. Wires from the control box and the thermostat are also connected in this low voltage junction box. With everything wired up, all that's left is to switch on the circuit breaker. And we have light off. One thing to keep in mind is there is a time delay from the time you turn on the air conditioner at the thermostat and when the air conditioner actually starts. This could be a little unnerving on the initial startup. And there you have it. Job complete and time to celebrate.